Outskirts is a song I wrote for our third record, which is coming out in January, called Heaven Protect Us. And it's a sort of pretty acoustic guitar-y picky song.
We went for a walk, and there was it was kind of one of those kind of housing estates where there was really twinkly lights and lots of kind of, you know, just ordinary things happening, and it was really a lovely time of the evening, and it was kind of bleak.
From the beginning, I don't know why, it sounded like, you know, those old black and white French films. It just sounded like the soundtrack to one of those. So it was originally like that, but then what we do is we put the capo around where's the best place for Polly's voice. So it's usually around the same sort of place. So actually, this is in the key of C minor, which is like.
And it's kind of hard doing the melody because Seb, the way he writes and the things he writes, always have a very strong melody in the guitar line, but I don't always want to copy or follow the guitar lines.
So often she'll take a demo of a song and just go walking with it loads and just kind of get it, and we'll work on it together and work on harmonies. But this one came together quite easily.
I found myself always going to the same words when I was just improvising a melody, and so I kind of just kept singing those words, and the song became about what those words are about, so quite unconsciously.
And then the chorus.
Singing, I'm trying to remember what the words are of the chorus.
That's all I do. I'm always writing. I'm always working out something.
It's lovely seeing Seb and Polly work together on lyrics, and then they'll literally finish the lyrics as they're about to go and record.
What holds dear?
What holds dear now?
Yeah, Polly's vocal is.
Make your choices.
Yeah, so I kept going back to what holds dear. I don't know why, just the sound of the vowels, I think. And I kind of was thinking about, it was at the time of kind of COVID, I think, and it was, you know, what is important to you, or where are you at? And for me, I was trying to work on elements of myself, which is one of the biggest things, is that I cannot make a decision. My friends mock me for it continuously. I was writing a song about that me being indecisive and sometimes not wanting to make a decision, or so yeah, the verses are really about that, and also about how sometimes I allow people to make decisions for me, because that's just the easiest thing for me. I can just do that, don't have to worry about it, just, you know, go along and do that. But sometimes that can mean that you don't carve your own path. So I guess the deeper meaning of it is that kind of is quite bleak, I guess, but it's not the bleak landscape of a city. It's more sort of trying to work on things that I need to work on myself.
We recorded it with Dan Parkinson, who always makes all our records.
And then when you get Polly's vocal in there, that just brings it all together. Polly's vocal is the heart of the whole record, really. Whenever her vocal comes in, that's just like...
He always offers an opinion, and a very, very constructive opinion. So it's a very, very, very easygoing sort of atmosphere to make music in, really.
You know, it's a big voice that she's got, and that just brings the whole record to... That is Provincials.
This was the first song we recorded for the album, and it was actually quite straightforward, this one.
Seb wanted to record the skeleton of the tracks live. Like the drums and guitars in the same room, get the track down, get that sounding good, get that sounding tight, and then everything else was kind of built on top of that, really. There's bits of like piano that they're kind of like accidental notes that kind of don't fit the key, but like they do. And that's what Steve's really good at. He's good at doing the wrong thing right.
It's all very improvised, all very, very loose, and just light and quite simple, really. Especially on a song like Outskirts, because there's an awful lot of space in there. There's an awful lot of space. It's very slow, and it's all about, in my opinion, it's all about just complementing Polly's beautiful singing.
Oh, Polly's vocals, they're easy, aren't they? You just stick a mic in front of her and she she gets on with it.
I love recording. I've always really enjoyed recording vocals.
Bit of compression, and then she loves a bit of low mid in her EQ. So if you're going to record her, just turn up the low mid, and yeah, she'll be your best friend.
I think the recording we did in just a couple of takes.
Recording guitars, I just have red light fever really badly. So I play a song beautifully, I can play it 100 times, but as soon as the red light goes on, like just then, it just goes to shit.
With Outskirts, I had two of these little bad boys. One kind of pointing at about the 12th fret, and then the other one parallel to it, facing just behind the sound hole.
That I use this. It's actually a very sort of cheapy, well, not cheapy, but it's a very modest guitar. It's it's like a little parlour guitar.
I kind of pan them fully left and right, and then compress them. And then that kind of gives you a bit of width with the acoustic guitar, as opposed to it just being, a boring old acoustic guitar.
If you have like a big Martin guitar or a big expensive rich sounding guitar, its sonic frequency is huge, and it's all over the recording. Its frequency is big, whereas with a parlour guitar it's a relatively narrow frequency of sound, so it's really good for recording because it just sits in the mix really nicely.
With Outskirts, it didn't need to be as wide as some of the other tracks. It just needed that little bit extra space just to fill your left and right.
Remix is quite exciting. I really like what he's done behind when the cymbals come in.
When I first heard that, it almost sounds live. It almost sounds like you've gone to a tunnel to record it, and you've got all these like strange sounds underneath.
I have a friend who lives locally called David Lowell Perry, and he does sort of modern composition and ambient stuff.
I've always been a big fan of Provincials. I love their bittersweet preludes to... Sounds like impending carnage is just around the corner. And I didn't want to break that, but enhance that as much as I could.
Been a fan of our music for a long time and very supportive. And I was telling him about our new record and the songs and all the stuff we were doing, and he offered to remix one of our songs.
He's boosted the upper mid of the vocal there just to separate it a bit more.
I played him a couple of the tracks from the new record, and he chose Outskirts.
Yeah, he's added a sub bass. That's cool.
So sent him over the stems, and he came up with this remix that we're talking about today.
So after a few hours listening and starting to play with sounds, I was able to separate Polly's vocal from Seb's guitar a little bit, isolate her a little bit, give her a bit of backing, a bit of support to add a bit of power perhaps.
Yeah, David wanted to, he said he wanted to put some separation between the guitar and the vocal, because I suppose what Polly and I do, we are very close musically, and especially in an intricate picky guitar vocal song like this, we are sort of riding it together. So, which is really fun. One of the great things about us playing together is we're quite close in what we're doing, and musically entwined, and it works really well. It always has worked well. So I think what David wanted to do was to separate those things and get a different kind of dynamic off, a different emotional dynamic off separating those two things.
And also to mess up with just about all the instruments in there, just all of them.
The piano's right back.
Put through some dirty plugins.
Yeah, he's got some nice reverse reverb going on.
Saturate them, saturate the sound, distort the sound.
But it's like distorting really low down.
Yeah.
Like it's like...
Again, to add to this bittersweet thought of impending doom.
You're like, that sounds wicked.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds real dirty and horrible. That sounds amazing.
And finally, you'll find some bits of ear candy in there. There's an old alto's voice wailing away in the background just to give a bit of support.
Yeah, it sounds like there's like a going behind Polly's vocal there.
And finally, there's the Duke of Richmond's crows you might spot every so often appear. I hope I don't owe him any money.
Loving the ambience.
He's done lots of interesting things with it. I like the crow noises, and he's added like an oboe thing to it, or a cello-y sort of sound to it, and some strange sub-bass noises to it. Steve's arrived. Hello, mate. Yeah, good. You helloed just in the middle of my take.
I thought you were speaking, not playing.
Hello, mate. Hello, how you doing? You have stopped, haven't you, Clive? Oh, he's still going.
Hello, Clive. How are you?
Do you want to make yourself comfortable downstairs? I'm nearly done. Then you can come up and we'll work out where to put you.